Hi everyone. So today our group will present our assignment 5. So first we start with the multiple choice question. The first question, what is the main function of IO management in an operating system? So the answer is B, to control data transfer between the system and external device.
Next question 2. Which of the following IO techniques allow data to be transferred directly? The answer is C, direct memory access.
In this scheduling, which algorithm selects the request that requires the least movement of the disk arm? The answer is shortest seek time first. SSTM.
Number 4, what is the primary purpose of a file management system, FMS? The answer will be B, organizing and storing files efficiently.
Number 5 is which of the following is not a basic file operation? So the answer is C, encrypt.
Question number 6. Which file organization method arrange records in a key index manner for efficient searching? The answer is B, index sequential file.
The question 7, which file allocation method is prone to both internal and external fragmentation? So the answer is C, contiguous allocation.
Number 8, in a tree structured directory, files can be organized into subdirectories.
Next, move on to fill in the blanks question. So number 1, the circular buffering technique in IO management allows multiple buffers to be used in a circular manner to keep up with process execution.
Second is seek time is the time required for the disk arm to move to the desired track.
For the number 3, the scan algorithm moves the disk arm back and forth across the disk. So basically request in one direction before reversing.
The 6 basic file operation include the 6 is create, open, read, write, close, and delete.
Question number 5. Contiguous allocation stores files in a single continuous block on the disk. So the answer contiguous allocation.
For number 6, file directory. Directory here we have a typo directory. So a file directory maintains information about files, including attributes, location, and ownership.
And then question 7, index file allows quick search by indexing specific fields.
Question number 8, owner define the permissions granted to different users for file operations.
So for the matching questions, the first question was program IO. The description is CPU actively waits for IO completion.
For interrupt driven IO, the description will be CPU is interrupted when IO completes.
So for the direct memory access, DMA, transfer data directly between memory and device.
So for the disketch, the description is buffer storing frequently, access disk sectors.
So for seek time, the seek time description is the time taken for the disk head to reach the desired track.
Match the following file management terms with their definitions. The first term, file allocation table, FAT. The definition is data structure used to track file allocation.
Next, the term index allocation. So the definition is uses an index to locate file blocks.
Next is contiguous allocation, which is it stores file blocks sequentially.
The link allocation, the definition will be uses pointers to connect file blocks.
Is record blocking. So this description is the group required into block for efficient input or output.
So for the question 1, there are 3 categories of input output IO device, which is human readable, machine readable, and communication. So the question asks us to explain and give one example of IO device for each category. So the first category is human readable. Human readable is the device that are used for user interaction, that are suitable for computer user, suitable for computer user from scratch. So the example is monitor.
The machine readable device are also used for communication with other machines or sensor. Like example, hard disk.
And then communication device, it is used for enabling data transmission between systems. For example, the network interface card and IC.
Question number 2, explain 3 techniques on performing input-output. So the first technique is program IO techniques, controls all data transfers and actively wait for IO completion.
Then interrupt-driven IO techniques issues IO command and continues working until it gets interrupted when IO completes.
For the direct memory access or alias DMA, is a techniques transfer data directly between device or IO module and memory without CPU.
So for the question 3 is a system is experiencing high seed time due to random disk access request. The question is which disk scheduling algorithm would have minimized seed time and why? So the answer is SSTF is mean shorter seed time first and and select the input output request that is close to the current head position and reduce seed time.
We move on to the question number 4. A system is using first in, first out this scheduling, but some processes experience long wait times for this access. Which alternative scheduling method can ensure fair access while improving efficiency? So the answer is CAN algorithm. This is because the service requests in one direction and reduce wait times for of requests while maintaining fairness.
Question 6. A university stores student records including names, ID, grade, and grades. So the records need to be accessed quickly based on student ID. So which file organization method should be used and explained? So the suitable file organization method that can be used is index sequential file, because this organization allow both sequential and fast lookup using indices.
Question 7. A company has multiple users accessing and modifying a shared financial file. What access control mechanism should be implemented to ensure security and integrity? So first, we can implement access control lists, ACLs, to specify permissions per user or group. And then we can implement file locking mechanism to prevent conflicts from simultaneous modifications.
Question number 8. A system administrator needs to optimize disk space and minimize fragmentation. Which file allocation method should they choose and why? So the file allocation method should they choose is index allocation method. This is because each file has an index block listing all data blocks, and this also will help reduce fragmentation and allow direct access.
Okay, for question 9, a software application reads and processes large files sequentially. Which file organization method is most suitable for this case? The most suitable file organization method would be the sequential file organization method. It is best used for reading data from beginning to end with minimal seed time.
For the question 10, in terms of file permission, explain 8 different access rights and 4 classes of users. So the first access right is none, which is not allow the user to read user directory. The second one is knowledge. It allows user to determine the file exists and who is the owner. Third, execution. It allows the user to load and run, but cannot copy. For the fourth one is reading. It allows the user to read and copy and also execute. The fifth one is appending. It allows user to add the data. The number 6 is updating. It allows the user to add data, but actually can delete or modify. The number 7 is changing protection. It allows user to grant the access right. And lastly, the deletion. Yeah, it's basically to allow user to delete the file.
For the 4 class of users, first is owner or user. So basically, owner or user is the person who create the file or directory, and they have the most control, which means read, write, and execute permission. So the second is a group. Group is a collection of users that share access to the file. So the file can be assigned to a group, and a member of the group get a certain permission to access the file. So the third is others. So basically, everyone else on the system who is in the owner or in the group. This means public access. So lastly is system or admin. So basically it's refer to the user with the administrator privilege. So they can override all permission and have a full control no matter what setting for owner or group or others.
Question 11. Describe the role of file directories in a file management system and how they facilitate file organization and access. Firstly, file directories help locate files quickly. And then that, file directory allow grouping such as folders and subfolders. File directories maintain metadata such as name, size, and type. And lastly, file directories support file sharing and access control.
The question 12. Explain the concept of record blocking and its impact on the file system performance. So the record blocking is a transfer unit of I/O with secondary storage. Record blocking group multiple records into one block for I/O, and it reduces the number of I/O operations and it improves system performance by utilize the space.
Then we move on to algorithm question. So question 1, the question gives us a this track request. Assume that the last request is at track 130 and the head is moving in the direction of decreasing track number. Perform an analysis and find out the average seek length for each of these scheduling algorithms below. So the first algorithm is first in, first out, FIFO. It is the simplest scheduling algorithm. The requests are processed sequentially in the order they arrive.
For first in, first out, because of the question mentioned, the last request is at track 130. So we start at track 130. So for first in, first out, we just follow the flow of this track request. So 130, then we'll go to 100. And the track traverse, the difference between 130 and 100 is 30. 100 will go to 54. And the track traverse, the difference between 100 and 54 is 46.
66. So the difference between 66 and 54 would be 12. That is the track traverse. And moving on to the next number, 77. So the difference between 77 and 66 is 11.
And then for the 103, track traversal will be 26. And then 152, the track traversal will be 49.
So for the track 45, the traveler track is 107. And for the 138, the track is 19.3.
So next 27. So the difference track is 111. And the last data is 93. And the differences is 66.
So total seek time. Total, we have to sum up all of this. So 30 plus 46 plus 12 plus 11 plus 26 plus 49 plus 107 plus 93 plus 111 plus 66. So we get 551. Average formula is total divide by the total track request. So 551 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10. This is the track request. So the answer is 55.1.
The second algorithm is shortest seek time first, SSTF. It takes the request that is closest to the current head position to minimize movement.
Same as previous one, we start with the last track, which is at 130. So the shortest track from 130 is we go to 138. And the difference between 138 and 130 is 8. So the next one, the shortest track from 138 is 152. And the difference between 152 and 138, we got 14.
So the next number, which is the closest to 152, is 103. And the difference between 52 and 103, 152 and 103 is 49. And the nearest number to 103 is 100. And the difference between the two numbers is 3.
The next number, the list traversal would be the request is 93. The next access. And the track traversal will be 7. And then for the next access will be 66, 77. So the traversal time will be 16.
For the method SSTF, the next access is 16C. So the difference between 77 and 16C is 11. And the next access is 44 and 54. The difference between 16C and 44 is 12.
So after that, the nearest number is 45. And then differences between 54 and 45 is 9. And lastly, the nearest number is 27. So the differences between the two numbers is 18.
So the totals track traversal is, we have to sum up this. Sum up, so 8 plus 14 plus 49 plus 3 plus 7 plus 16 plus 11 plus 12 plus 9 plus 18. So we get 147. We have to 147 divided by the total track request, which is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 track requests, which is we get 14.7.
Scan, or also known as elevator algorithm. This algorithm moves the disk arm in one direction only and processes all the requests in the path. When it reaches the end, it reverses the direction and processes the remaining requests.
Because of the question mentioned decreasing, so we start from track 130 and we will answer in decreasing order. So from 130, next decreasing to 103. And the difference for traverse, we got 27. And then from 103 decrease to 100, and difference we got 3.
We'll move on to the next number. The closest number to 100 will be 93. And the difference between 100 and 93 is 7. And the next number will be 77. So the difference between 93 and 77 is 16.
For the subsequent punya request, it will be 66. So the traversal will be 11. And then for the next request will be 54.
54.
Yeah, the traversal will be 11. And sorry.
For the next access is 45. And the track traversal is equal to the 9. So the next SS is 27. Traversal record is 18.
And then after that, we reverse it. So from 27, we go to 138. So the differences is 111. Request is 152. And the differences is 14.
So total track traversal is 27 plus 3 plus 7 plus 16 plus 11 plus 12 plus 9 plus 18 plus 111 and plus 14. So the total we get is 228 track traversal. So if we want to search for average, we have 228 divided by the total number of track requests. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 track requests. So the answer is 22.8.
The last algorithms is C-scan or circular scan. It is similar with scan algorithm. It moves in one direction only, but instead of reversing the direction, the head return to the opposite end of the disk and the scan begin again.
Same as before, because of the question mentioned in decreasing order, we start from 130 and then decrease to 103, and the difference we got 27. And from 103 decrease to 100, and the difference we got 3.
So the next number closest to 100 is 93. And the difference between the two numbers is 7. And the next number closest to 93 is 77, with the difference being 16.
And for the next request will be 66. And the traversal track will be 11. And the next request will be 54. And the traversal will be 12.
SSS is 45. And the traversal record is equal to the 9. And the next SS is 27. Traversal record equal to the 18.
So for the from 27, go to the opposite end. So 152. So the difference 1 to 5. Then go to the 138. And the differences is 14.
The third tensor is equal to 27 plus 3 plus 7 plus 16 plus 11 plus 12 plus 9 plus 18 plus 125 plus 14 equal to 242. So the average is equal to 242 divided by the total flight request, which is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10. So the answer is 24.2.
And then question 2, given a system using 128 byte blocks, the question asks us to calculate the percentage of wasted space in the blocks allocated for a file. So first, if the system is using variable length unspent blocking, in this method, if a record does not fit in the current block, we move it to the next block because we cannot split the records.
First, 50, and then 50 we will plus with 45. We got 95, still below 128. And then 95, if we plus with 55, it will exceed 128. So the first block will become just 50 plus 45, and the first block is 95.
So for the next block, it will be 55 and 35. So if we plus these two numbers together, it will come up to 90. So if we plus 90 and 10, we will get the total of 100. But we can't plus it with 32 because it will exceed 128, which is the byte blocks. So we will stop at 10 with the total of 100.
The next record, we plus 32 with 60. And then we try to, since the total of the 32 and plus 60 will be 92. And then we look at the next record, which is 33. So to sum up, it would be 125. So there is no excess byte, so we can have this block.
So after we divide the block, so we calculate the allocate and we get allocate equal to 3 block. Equal to 3 block with time with 128 byte. So the total amount is 384.
Calculate the wasted. So 128 minus first block, which is 95. And then plus 128 minus second block, which is 100. And plus 128 minus 125, which is the third block. So the wasted we got 64.
Percentage of wasted space is 64 divided by the total block space, which is 384 times 100%. So we get 16.67%, if I'm not mistaken.
B, if the system is using variable span blocking, so in this blocking method, we can split the record across blocks to utilize the space more efficiently.
For question B, first 50, and then we plus with 45, we will got 95. And then if we try to plus 95 with 55, it will exceed 128. So what we will do, we get the number 128, and then we will minus 95, and we need 33 from where? We need 33 from the 55. So 55 minus 33, we got 22. So the 22 will be added to so 33, sorry, so 33 will be added to the number 95, and we will got 128.
So moving on to the second block, we will add 22 with 35, 10, 32, and we will get 99. So the next number is 60. But if you add 60 with 99, it will exceed 128. So we will subtract 128 with 99, and we will get 29. So 60 minus 29 will equal to 31.
In records, we add 30 for 31 with 31 with 33 plus, and will be 64. So that's it. That's the new block. Since there's no other records, the wasted records will be 1 to 8 subtract to 64.
64 percentage of wasted space is 64 divided by the total block space, which is we have here 3 blocks, so 3 times each block have 128. So the total is 3 times 128. So we have 384 total space, total block space. So we 64 divided by the 384 times 100%, we get 16.67%. That's all from me.
From us.
From us. Thank you.